50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, how's it going? Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager presented by Viva Tequila Seltzer, episode 497, almost at the big 500, kid. Today is Friday, February 7th, 2025. And kid, it's a big one, but it's also a sad one as well. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Dale. You know, it's, like you said, it's bittersweet. It's definitely bittersweet. You know, we get to talk about, the most exciting game of the year. And then we get to also talk about how it's the last game of the year. So, it sucks. Great, at least it's going to be a great matchup, Dale, but it also sucks that it's going to be an off season for the next 6 months.
And we were talking about it with CT. We'll have CT on in just a little, but we talked about it with him how, the season just flies by, but the off season it takes forever to get back to it. But you're right. It's the big one, Super Bowl 59 down at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Super Bowl 59. It's a rematch of 2 years ago. Kansas City won 38-35. It's the big one. We got CT back on. It's a tradition like none other here at the Dream Wager. We always get him on. We break down a little Patriot talk in the beginning, a little Patriot talk. You had to talk about little Patriots with him and Elvis. And we also give out his favorite prop bets. And does he hedge 17-1 ticket on the Eagles? We'll see what he ends up doing there. We also huge deadline. I mean, this had to have been the biggest NBA trade deadline last few days, at least in recent history. I don't know about you, but it was monumental moves, especially leading with the Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis. We'll talk about that. And 7 games on the NBA slate as well here for a Friday, as well as a small slate for college hoops as well. But let's go back to it, kid. Like I said, it all led with the one that went down in the dungeon, the Luka Doncic trade and Anthony Davis. Then you see Darren Fox going. And then we get the Bucks. They get involved, and they wind up trading Chris Middleton, one of Giannis's really good friends. They've been on the same team for a while, A.J. Johnson, and a pick swap to the Wizards. Wizards really not doing anything for Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin Jr., and a second-round draft compensation as well. I like this move for Milwaukee. I think they get a little better, not a lot, but I think they're just a little better. Let's not forget, Kyle Kuzma won a championship. And, I think going to a championship caliber team like the Milwaukee Bucks makes me think that he's going to want to step up. He made some big shots down the stretch when he was in Los Angeles. How big of a move do you think this is for Milwaukee?
It's not, let's just say it's not like a breaking news type of deal, but I think Kyle Kuzma is definitely a win now move. Definitely an upgrade over Chris Middleton. I could agree on that. I think Kyle Kuzma gives him, more length, and he's just younger, quicker, and at this stage in his career, he's a little better of a player than Chris Middleton.
You need wing players.
Yeah, Chris Middleton, he was solid. We know what he was able to contribute into the 2021 title with the Bucks against the Phoenix Suns. We know how great he was. He was deadly from the mid-range. He was honestly the closer.
Yeah, he was.
For that team when they won the championship. So if you're a true Bucks fan, it kind of sucks to see Chris Middleton go. But if you're a real Bucks fan and your aspirations is to win a championship, this is the move you needed to do. Chris Middleton ain't that guy anymore. And Kyle Kuzma, don't get me wrong, he's not an all-star. He's
their third option.
Yeah, he's not an all-star, but he's an improvement of what they have. So to me, this is a great win and addition for the Milwaukee Bucks.
And I was wrong, hand up. I was wrong with this one. I thought Pat Riley was going to stand on business, but The Miami Heat, they wind up sending Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, who winds up being traded all over the place. I
Yeah.
think he got traded like 5, 6 times. If there's one
It's a,
person I feel sorry for, it's
it's
Dennis
Dennis.
Schroeder.
Yeah, I think he got traded two
He
times in the past 5.
today,
Yeah.
today he got traded twice. He's with Detroit now. So yeah, Kyle Anderson, shout out Patterson Catholic, and a projected first round pick as part. Warriors wind up getting Lindy Waters the third, and Heat's Josh Richardson is headed to Detroit with part of that deal.
Kyle Anderson also got traded twice in one day.
Yeah,
Well.
he is staying. Shams did report he is staying with Miami. So
Oh, he is? Okay.
yeah, he is staying. But the big thing with this one is he was rejecting. There were teams like you mentioned, the Rockets, Memphis, teams that are ready to win now who need that one piece. They were in on Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler said, "Listen, I'm not going to sign with you." But he was able to sign with Golden State. They agreed to a 2-year, $121 million extension with the franchise through 2026, 2027. He declined his player option for this new deal. You like this move? I know they were trying to go get Kevin Durant and make that reunion, but they wind up settling for Jimmy Butler.
Personally, I don't like the move. Like I'm on record saying I'd rather see Jimmy Butler, and I think is a better winning destination as well. Especially if he's signing a 2-year extension after the trade is done. I'd rather see him for the next 2 seasons. That's you got to for the next 2 seasons, 2.5 seasons. I'd rather see him in Houston. I'd rather see him in Memphis. I'd rather see him in OKC. Dill. That's just my opinion. Yes, is it a great move for the Warriors? Yes, you're a better team today than you were yesterday. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for Jimmy Butler, for all the antics, all the drama for these past 2.5, 3 months, I, I don't think you're in a better situation than you were in a Miami Heat uniform. Yes, you're gonna be playing along Steph Curry, one of the greatest players of all time. Steve Kerr, is he a better coach than Eric Spoelstra? I'm not gonna go that far. Right now, the way the two teams are constructed, the Warriors are a slightly better team, but they're not, in my opinion, in a position to win now. If I was Jimmy Butler, I'm thinking he wants to go somewhere to compete for a title right now and for the next 2 seasons as well. I just felt like Memphis, Houston, OKC gives you a better opportunity. Hey, maybe he really wanted to play with Steph, or he wanted to start a coffee brand / company in California. Maybe that works out for him as well.
Why do you think Jimmy Butler declined those places then? Because it's not like those teams didn't go after Jimmy Butler. And I think they're in a more position to win now than the Golden State Warriors. I'll agree with you that Golden State is better off right now, but Andrew Wiggins was having a hell of a season. I like Andrew Wiggins. They don't win that championship back I think 2021 if it's not for Andrew Wiggins. So I don't know. I like the move, but I don't know. I don't. What do you think? There has to be a deeper issue or a deeper rooted concern with these teams like Houston, like Memphis, like OKC that players don't want to go there.
Let's just say smaller markets. Even though Houston to me is one of the, I've never been there, but it seems like one of the greatest cities out there, especially in NBA town. I think Houston's up there. Memphis is kind of a small market. You could say OKC, very small market. You go into the Golden State Warriors, the media, California is a large market. It's one of the richest franchises in all of the world in the Golden State Warriors. In my opinion, Dale, I honestly, I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't. If I had to choose, I'm playing with OKC, Memphis, Houston. If I had to choose, or Phoenix as well, because I know he wanted to go to Phoenix. But if I personally want to go somewhere to win and contend for a championship, I'm looking at those 3 teams. Yes, Steph is cool. Steve Kerr is cool, but in my opinion, those 3 teams give you a better chance to win now than the Golden State Warriors. I honestly a little surprised why Jimmy chose the Warriors, but hey, maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he has a vision that we don't see just yet.
I think it also came down to the Miami Heat liking the package because we all know they tried to go get Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant obviously shut all those things down. It's probably so awkward. They said the shoot around yesterday in OKC was so awkward because, they can't trade Bradley Beal. They're not going to trade Devin Booker. And then you look around and you're like, the only other person to trade is Kevin Durant, but you give up so much to get KD. Now you're sitting here saying he's worth an extension next year. What are you going to do in the offseason? I think that's the biggest takeaway from this trade deadline. What are we going to do with KD now in the offseason? Because the front office has already made it clear we wanted to trade you. Like, the trust is not there anymore. How awkward does it have to be around these players now? What is your take on the whole Kevin Durant and Phoenix Suns situation? Because it has to be extremely awkward. We know that the relationship really, I was actually surprised that he didn't want to go back to Golden State. But then, reports come out, him and Draymond really never got along. His last year in Golden State, he was miserable. So I kind of get he didn't really want to go back, but let's be honest, and this is no slight towards you or the Brooklyn Nets, but his last two spots have been failures. Brooklyn, failure. Phoenix, failure. And
So
he is
far.
like, it's going to be. Regardless if they win or regardless if they lose in the first round or if they lose in the conference championship,
They
it
got
is a
swept
failure.
last year. Yeah.
Exactly. And he is like LeBron, where KD, in my opinion, top 10 player of all time. He is like LeBron, where it says, if we win, he gets all the credit. But if we lose, everything goes on him. So when you go to Phoenix and you think you're going to win, you're supposed to be the leader. You are by far the best player on that team. Why haven't you won? Is it because of leadership? Is it because of front office? I just think at a certain point when you get up into the age where Kevin Durant is, you have to, if you want to be on the move, or if teams want to move you got to go to a destination where you're going to win. You have shown that the Golden State Warriors, you have won back-to-back finals MVP, great organization, good ownership. Brooklyn, Phoenix, no. So I just don't understand from that point of view why want to stay in a bad situation. That's my takeaway.
Let me answer the first question.
Yeah.
I personally think we're going to see the last year of Kevin Durant in the Phoenix Suns uniform. We saw reports saying that he was kind of like blindsided /
of course,
a little, like a backhand smack to the face on why Suns are out there reporting that KD was available, or they were hearing calls about Kevin Durant. So I know Kevin Durant didn't like that. Clearly he wants to stay in Phoenix. To me, the biggest loser of today's trade deadline is not a player. It's a franchise. It's the Phoenix Suns.
They're losers
right now. You're 25-25. You have three. Say what you want about Bradley Beal, but you have three potential Hall of Famers on your current roster right now. I know. Say what you want.
Yeah.
You have three all NBA players on your team. That's a fact.
That's fair.
Three
yeah, that's a
All-Stars
fact.
on your team. You have three max players on your team. You're a 500 team to show for it. You're fired, my man Frankie V. Last
oh my
year.
God! Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, you fired Frank Vogel, who's doing a better job than Budenholzer.
Yeah.
So, and this is no knock on Budenholzer. It just shows how bad the Phoenix Suns. I'm gonna say how bad their plan or their vision is turning out. Last year, Phoenix Suns is one of the favorites to win it all when the Bradley Beal trade went down. Right now, still, it's looking like subpar playoff team. Might not even make the play-in because the Warriors are going to be better and the Spurs are going to be better. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be shocked at all if the Phoenix Suns don't even make the play-in. So you're going to possibly not even make the playoffs. You're going to lose Kevin Durant. What's Devin Booker going to feel like? You still gotta make sure he stays. What's Bradley Beal gonna end up doing? So to me, the biggest losers of all of this is the Phoenix Suns, because one, you went on record and in the media and the public that you were shopping Kevin Durant. You was unable to give Bradley Beal an offer to uplift his no trade clause. So to me, I think the Phoenix Suns shot themselves in the foot for just shooting a blank this trade deadline. You needed to make a move, and you wasn't able to get it done. You had Jimmy Butler screaming he wanted to join your team, and you wasn't able to get it done. This summer, you're gonna regret all these moves you did, Phoenix.
Now, Phoenix has been known for a place where they could land superstars. I don't think they don't have a problem landing stars. The problem is, do you think it's leadership with the players, i.e., the three guys you named, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, or do you think it's the front office? Because they've never had problems acquiring talent. The problem is keeping it and winning. They went to an NBA Finals and blew their team up to get Kevin Durant. And now they haven't been close to getting him back.
I'm going to say it's a little bit of both because at the end of the day, Devin Booker's been there. He's been, Kevin Durant came in as the leader of the team, but that's Devin Booker's team. At the end of the day, we how many different coaches we saw in these last 3 to 4 years from, what was my guy's name? He got fired from the Pistons too. Damn, I've already
Williams or something.
No. Damn, former player.
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams. From Monty Williams, right?
Yeah.
To Frankie V, to Budenholzer in just a matter of 4 years. So you got 3 new coaches in a matter of 4 years. Look at all the player turnarounds, from PJ to Eric Gordon to the Grayson Allen, Bo Boys, Bradley Bills. It's a lot of turnaround. There's no stability there in these last 3 to 4 seasons since they made that finals run, Dill. It's just been a lot of inconsistency, a lot of hit or misses. So to me, that's one of the reasons why it's been such a disaster. You got to put some of the blame on the front office and not just the superstar players.
Now, I agree. I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot, not being able to trade Bradley Beal, lift that no trade clause. Kevin Durant's going to want out now, which rightfully he should. He is eligible for a max contract in the offseason. Which team do you think is one team? I know we're sound like a broken record, but like Houston, Memphis, those are type of teams that I feel like are one.
That's another hey, he probably got some unfinished business there. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes to AC and wouldn't even need to be on a super max deal or max
AC?
Deal. OKC.
Oh, OKC. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sorry to go to OKC. Houston. I know this might sound, crazy, but look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. If Kevin Durant could land in Cleveland, look how good they've been playing. To me, Cleveland should have been shopping and making full calls for a superstar player this trade deadline. Because to me, they're a player away for being a real championship caliber contending team. The record says that they're a great home. They're 24-4 at home, dude. That's great. They're 17-6 away.
Yeah.
That's Cleveland is really good. And I'm gonna be honest, come playoff time, I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to, translate their regular season success into the postseason. But I know if they were able to get a guy like Kevin Durant, I would like their chances a whole lot better.
100%. All right, let's keep going through down the list. Surprisingly, I'm surprised they didn't trade him. He had a lot of suitors. Teams were calling him, but Chicago Bulls and Lonzo Ball agreed to a 2-year, $20 million extension. He's had a productive season this year, finally being healthy. A lot of teams were calling him. Are you surprised the Bulls are trusting him and moving forward with him?
I'm going to be honest. I think the Bulls got one of the best bargain deals in recent years because we've seen how these NBA contracts has been exploding. I think the average salary is like $20-30 million. So the fact that you was able to get a starting point guard in Lonzo, I understand he's coming back from injury, but we all know the caliber he's able to play at when he's 100% healthy. Still, I think sometime next season we're gonna be like, wow, they only paying Lonzo $10 million. So I think this is a great deal for Lonzo for now, just because he's coming back from injury, but a great deal for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't deal him, but, they believe in him, and, he is having a productive season, so I am happy for Lonzo. The Pelicans, they've traded Brandon Ingram to Toronto for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and 1 first-round pick and a second-round pick as well. New Orleans, they're done. I guess the bigger question for this is they're so bad, but they keep condoning Zion's behavior. There was a report yesterday or 2 days ago. He didn't report to practice because he didn't feel good. What? Like, there are team doctors. Like, if you don't feel good, show up to work or show up to play and have you. So you self-evaluating yourself now? Like, bro, they invested too much. At a certain point, are they just coddling him? And like, when do, I'm just like, when is enough with Zion?
We saw I saw Zion. I think last week come out and say he he wants to, and he's able to play back to backs, but he works for the Pelicans, and the Pelicans don't want him to play back to back. So I think it's a little bit of both. Yes, Zion is, let's just say he's been a little bit like a Joel Embiid-ish, right?
Yeah.
But also maybe it's the Pelicans as well, not putting that battery in his back as much as we think they are. So I think it's a little bit of both. We can't give all the blame on Zion if the team not even forcing him to play back to backs.
You like the move for Brandon Ingram getting a fresh start with R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes. Like, that's a young team.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Do I like the move? Yes. Would I rather see Bi on a better
Of course.
situation? Absolutely. So I know the basketball caliber player Brandon Ingram is. It just sucks that he's gonna play in Toronto probably for a couple of seasons. But we all know when healthy, Brandon Ingram is an all-star caliber player.
100%. And I think we could both agree that it just wasn't working in New Orleans. He made one all-star appearance in his time there.
Yeah. The whole New Orleans franchise right now is in the dump.
It's a failure, another failure organization. That's the key here. I think this is one of my favorite moves, obviously outside of the Luka one, but Lakers, they're dealing. I really don't think Mark Williams was for sale, but I think the Lakers went to him, and Rob Pelinka went to Charlotte and was just like, they made him available, giving up Dalton Connect, a very young guy that a lot of people are high on. He's a good shooter. Cam Reddish plays both ways. They gave up an unprotected first-round pick for 2031 and a pick swap of 2030 as well. I think it's a win-win for both teams. Lakers, they're trading for a rising 7'2" center, giving the franchise a starting center who Luka needs, who could do the pick and roll and can throw alleys to. He's athletic. He's versatile. He can finish at the rim. To pair him up with Luka and LeBron, I love that move. And Hornets, they land a rookie in Dalton Connect, who, not just them, but I think a lot of people are excited about. The kid could play. They get draft capital as well. I know Charlotte's not a good team, but they've nicely built their their future first round picks for the next few years. They own the first in the next 7 years. Top 14 projected from the Miami Heat in 2027, unprotected in 2028, a top 2 protected from a first-round pick for Dallas in 2027, rights to a swap in the first round for the Lakers in 2030, and an unprotected first-round pick from LA in 2031. So they got a lot of draft capital, Charlotte. I love this move for the Lakers, though.
Yeah, it just shows that the Lakers and Rob Pelinka is like, you know what? We got a window. We got LeBron. He's still, even though at 40 years old, still giving you elite numbers. Now with Luka Doncic, let's get that big man flowing. We don't got Anthony Davis no more. Luka, LeBron, get some playmakers around. Let's see if Gabe Vincent could step up as well. Roy's been stepping up. Austin Reeves is taking that next step. I love what the Lakers has been doing. Don't get me wrong. I was a little skeptical at first, seeing how things are going to work out. But with this move here, I'm starting to see the vision. Even LeBron, I think LeBron would benefit from this as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I would not be surprised if we start seeing, I want to say smaller lineup, but we see LeBron at the 5 or at the 4, Vinny Smith at the 4 or 5 as well.
Rai Hachimura.
Hachi as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Lakers start playing a little small with those 3 guys at the 3, 4, and 5.
We talked about it on Monday's show. In the West, you need bigs. You need them. You need to compete with bigs. Chet Holmgren just got announced coming off IR. OKC has a big. You got the Jokic in Denver. got Jared Jackson Jr. Like, you got bigs that you have to deal with. Look how Dallas got to the finals. All those bigs. You need bigs to compete. And I thought this was a home run for the Lakers. And like you said, a lot of people didn't like Rob Pelinka. He's out there swinging home runs. I like it. Um, Going back to the Phoenix Suns, they're trading Nurkic and a 2026 first round pick to Charlotte Hornets for Cody Martin and a 2026 pick. They're trying to dump it. I just think with the Suns, their team is, there's an eerie feeling around that team now. A lot of people don't trust the front office, and a lot of people was like kind of looking over their shoulder, like, hey, like around shoot around, are we gonna get traded? I don't think anyone is safe, bro. I really don't.
Yeah. Like I said, Dill, with the Phoenix Suns, is I don't know what's gonna go on. Like I said, they were trying to shop Kevin Durant. They couldn't move Bradley Beal, or they couldn't get Bradley Beal to lift his no trade clause. So it's gonna be tough selling for the Phoenix Suns for these next few months, just because right now, like I said, there's a small chance. Honestly, I'm gonna say there's a good chance they miss the playoffs and they possibly don't even make the play in. They're sitting right now at the 10th seed. The Warriors got better. The Spurs got better. They're gonna be right on the heels of the Phoenix Suns. So to me, they can't be emotional for too long though. It's either they're gonna make a playoff push now at right after the All-Star break, or they're just gonna call it a season.
You mentioned the Cavaliers and them trying to go all in. I like the move. Getting another wing. They trade for DeAndre Hunter, an expiring contract, averaging 19 points on the season, probably his best season of his career. For Chris LeVert, George Niang, and 3 second-round picks as well. I love this move for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and this is a move that kind of says, yo, we're going all in. We needed another wing, and that's the most important position in the NBA right now, a wing guy who could go both ways and who could, do the pick and roll and everything. And he could also score and get a bucket when need to.
Yeah, this is another great move for the Cleveland Cavaliers. A win now move,
Yeah.
may I say. Just because, like you said, Niang, nice player, not it. Chris LeVert, I like him a little more, but we know what he is. Daniel Hunter, he's shown any given night he could give you 25.
Yeah.
He could be your high scorer any given night, and he can also play his role as well and give you 10 to 15 a night as well. So I think this is a great move for the Cleveland Cavaliers, because guess what, especially in the loaded East, you're gonna need wing and you're gonna need depth at those positions, just because look at Cleveland. I mean, look at Boston, look at the Bucks, look at the Knicks. They're deep there, people. So they're gonna need depth and guys who's been there and done that, is not scared of the moment. Daniel Hunter is one of those guys.
Yeah, and the Hawks kind of have their backcourt filled out already, so I get it. I get why they tried to they traded him and they give him to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who they're in win now mode as well. Hawks, not Hawks. Another guy from Atlanta on the move, Bogdan Bogdanovic. He is traded to the Clippers for Terrence May, who is a really nice player as well, in Bones Highland as well, and 3 second-round picks. So another move, Clippers going in, and Hawks kind of for sale right now. They're moving some pieces.
Yeah, the Hawks been ever since what Johnson went down with the injury. We know what the Hawks are. Trey Young, I'm pretty Bogdanovich is gone. So I don't know what the Hawks are gonna do. I'm surprised they never traded Trey Young. Though they traded Murray last year. Now Bogdan kind of looked like they empty ship, but they kept Trey Young. Interesting what they're gonna do moving forward. I the rookie, I don't like him that much, but the potential is there. Let's see what they could do moving forward. I'm just kind of surprised, even with the trade rumors last season about Trey Young possibly getting moved, and he wasn't dealt, but they traded everybody else. Little surprising, but hey, if you wanted to rebuild, you start by trading away Trey Young and get as many future assets as possible.
100%. I agree with that. I thought he was going to be on the move last year. And then lastly, Memphis Grizzlies, they finally did something, but it's kind of a cap dump, a salary cap dump to clear up some space. But they're trading Marcus Smart in a 2025 first round pick to Washington in a multi-team trade that sends 2 second-round picks to Memphis. Wizards, they're sending Marvin Bagley the third to the Grizzlies and part of the deal. And Johnny Davis, shout out Wisconsin, they're sending him to Memphis as well. It's unfortunate. I know Memphis fans, they don't really like this, but clear up a lot of room because you need to sign Jared Jackson Jr. in this offseason. I think in the grand scheme of things in this offseason, if you're able to lock him up, you're okay with letting Marcus Smith go, right?
Yeah, you should be able to. At the end of the day, we
But
know.
and real quick, I'm sorry, but I don't expect Marcus Smart to just stay in Washington. He's going to be on the move.
Yeah, he's gonna be in a move, but maybe he gets brought out. We'll see. But we know what Memphis or what their end goal is
Yeah.
to possibly win a title. They're gonna need the cap space. They're gonna have to resign Desmond Bain, Jared Jackson Jr. We already know Ja's under contract, but they're gonna need um cap space as well to bring in possibly another piece this summer to add to that lineup. So kind of like what I kind of like it what I saw from Memphis, but didn't make that huge splash play that I honestly wanted them to make.
But yeah, that's all the news and trades that we have. But I think the biggest thing, obviously, is the Luka Doncic trade. And what happens to Kevin Durant this offseason? I think that is going to be the biggest question mark. I didn't expect to talk about him today, but you know, when your name is put out there with multiple teams, you hold a lot of value there.
It's a damn shame what they did to Kevin Durant. Man.
Yeah. Let's go over to the gridiron. Before we get to our interview with CT, Elvis, like right after we were done recording the other night, we had major news in the NFL. Cooper Kupp and the Rams are trying to aggressively trade him. He came out, he posted a whole Instagram post saying, I was informed that they're trying to trade me, that they aggressively want to do it and kind of want to do it quick as well. Here is the cost if they do. If Cooper Kupp is traded to his new team, they would inherit his $20 million salary for 2025. He has a $7.5 million roster bonus, and $19.85 million in 2026, unless obviously the contract is negotiated. But one, are you surprised? And two, what team do you think best fits Cooper Kupp, or they fit for him?
Not really surprised, just because his drop off was major, especially to end the season, and we saw it. Puka Nacua is honestly one of the best receivers in all of football. Sean McVay loves him. Matthew Stafford and him have a great connection. Cooper Kupp, we know he's still a pretty good wide receiver. He's probably not what he once was a couple years ago. He won a triple crown, but he's definitely a vet that could go somewhere and help a young quarterback develop and possibly help go somewhere a win now situation as well. So not too surprised about the news, but a team I could honestly see him, helping is a team like Washington Commanders. Put him alongside Terry McLaurin. I think Jaden McDaniels could definitely benefit from that. Another team out there that highly doubt will make this trade, but I think it will be a great move. It's the Dallas Cowboys. I think Dallas Cowboys definitely need a steady number 2 wide receivers to go alongside CeeDee Lamb. I think Cooper Kupp will be great addition to the team as well. And then a sneaky team I put out there, just even though they have a ton of weapons, just because it's a young quarterback, Michael Pittman Jr. in Atlanta, Dill. I would love to see Cooper Kupp go somewhere where he can either win now or help a young quarterback develop. Because Cooper Kupp, when healthy, is one of the most elite route runners in the NFL. He's gonna find a way to get open.
I love it. I didn't even think of the Dallas one. You getting Dak Prescott healthy, coming back. He definitely would be their number one outside of CeeDee Lamb.
It'll be a number 2, good 1B, 1A option, but definitely CD is going to be the number 1, and then I think Cooper Kupp is going to get a lot of one-on-one coverages that he's going to be very favorable.
But I do think it happens soon. So they said they're aggressively trying to trade him. They're trying to move quick.
Even look at the team.
Patriots.
Now, uh, look at your neighbor, the Chargers. I think they're in need of a number of a one, a vet, and a receiver who's been there, done that. Lyle McConkey looking like a stud, but Quentin Johnson,
He not
DJ
it.
Chalk, and all of them, they could do better.
And also, what I like about that one is they trade him out of conference. A lot of the teams that you named were in the NFC, which I personally, if I was a GM, don't really want to do. But you trade him over. He doesn't have to move. He could stay in his state, go over there. That's actually a good call. I like that
You
one.
could get the deal done during lunch. You know?
Well, hey, you guys want to meet up?
Yeah.
All right. And the NFL's continuing to grow. They're going overseas. NFL, they're going to play a regular season game in Melbourne, Australia in 2026, and what will be the first game in a multi-year commitment to play in the land down under. Rams, surprisingly enough, are expected to play the first game there. It will be at a rugby stadium.
Is it Australia like a 16-hour difference?
I don't know the whole.
I'm pretty sure it's something crazy. It's like 14 to 16 hours.
I know the country has multiple time zones, so it's like the North Fork Island.
Depending where.
Yeah.
I know one of those time zones is like 14 to 16 hours.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It has 6 time zones. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, Australia's freaking huge, though. You know, it's huge.
Yeah, it's actually, but Melbourne's on the eastern coast. I don't know. Let me. Yeah, while I do it, are you excited?
As long as the game ain't at 4 a.m.
Oh, right now it's 8:12 in the morning.
All right, yeah. So the game is at 7 a.m. No big deal. If the game is like at 4:30 a.m., I might have a problem. If the game is at 3:30 a.m., I'm gonna have a problem with that. So long as the game, selfishly is at a decent time frame for the American people, I have no issue with it. Now, as an overall game in Australia, I think is wonderful. One, you're gonna make the game more international. What the NFL wants. Two, you know how many crazy Australian fans are gonna go pack that stadium? It's gonna be a zoo. Every time a team goes overseas, the crowds get into it. They sing in Sweet Caroline. They sing in some songs. So it's always fun and interesting to see how these fans react in other countries.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. The crowds are extraordinary. They're loud. You see it in the Premier League when you watch soccer, and they're just fantastic. Other sports like UFC and the WWE, when they go over to France or they go over to Germany, the scenes are the cameras are shaking. Like they're that loud. So I'm excited for that. Wonder who the Rams are going to play. That should be very interesting.
The Chargers.
The Chargers. And, CT and myself, we did make some money on the Ohio State Buckeyes, and now Ryan Day and Ohio State, they've agreed to a new contract. It's a 7-year contract that will keep Day as the coach of the Buckeyes through the 2020-2031 season. It adds 3 more years to his current contract. He's going to be making about $12.5 million per year. I'll say this. I'll start. One, I'm not surprised. You go out and win a national championship, but I'll say this. The seat is still warm. Like, if you go and lose to Michigan again for 4 years in a row.
He is.
Don't put that out there. We're not putting bad juju out there.
I understand that, Dill, and you have every right to be frustrated over Michigan losses. I'm on record saying you could go. I would have given him a 5-year deal. You got to win 3 out of 5. You don't have to win all 5.
Yeah,
you got to win 3 out of the next 5. You got to do that. So, Brian Day, you could lose the next one. After that, you got to win 3 out of 4. You got to start beating Michigan. National title is the goal.
Yeah.
But you're hired to do a job, and that job is to beat Michigan.
Every head coach in the history of Ohio State has beaten the team up north, but Ryan Day.
Exactly. Your job is to beat Michigan. If you could go win, the Big Ten title, national title, those are great things. Mm-hmm. Great things, great incentives. But your job is to beat Michigan.
And you
So,
can't do that.
and
Do you think that? What do you think it is? Because like this year they weren't good.
They're a 22-point favorite.
And now they're getting the number 1 recruit in the country going to play. I think his name's Bryce Underwood. He's the quarterback, and he's committed to Michigan.
Yeah, they give him the big NIL deal to come. At the end of the day, like I said,
We're gonna lose again.
You're
Probably.
gonna lose. No, you're gonna lose. It's just.
I think the moment's too big. I think his like balls just shrinking. He crunches up in big moments.
It's not just his though. We can't just put
all the
fault on him.
But he's the leader. Just like what I said with LeBron and KD. If you win, you get all the glory. But if you lose, it's all on you.
I understand. All right, real quick.
Yeah.
How many points per game did Ohio State average this year?
I want to double check, but I want to say it's like 27.
How many points did y'all score against Michigan?
Oh, not a lot.
I think it was 7, 12, no 10. Y'all lost 12-10, something like that.
I'll get it for you. Hold up. 2024. This is bad podcasting. They averaged 429 yards per game. That's insane. I'm trying to find it. Oh, I think I just saw it. 35 points per game.
35 points per game. How many points y'all scored against Michigan?
I think we lost. Yeah, we scored 10. It was 13-10.
So you scored 25 points under your average. That's not all Brian Day's fault. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Y'all go from scoring 35 a game.
But who prepares these men? Who prepares them?
Who prepared him to score 35 points against anybody else?
Ryan Day is to blame. You're not telling me anything.
No, I'm not. He deserves some. Not all, Dill. Not all. At the end of the day, y'all average 35 points a game. Y'all put up 10 against Michigan. That's that.
Yeah.
You gotta give some. You gotta give some there, Dill.
So he's under contract for the next 5-6 years. 2031, how many times do you think we beat Michigan in those 5-6 years?
How many times has he beat them in the last 5-6 years, Dill?
Well, he's only been there for 3, so he's 0-3. He's
0-3. If he beats them 3 times in the next 6 years, I think that's a successful run.
For him, but not for Ohio State standard.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
I guess I've been spoiled, just like you with championships. I've been spoiled with Urban Meyer, who's
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, and then we go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, please.
You rather go 5-1 for the next 6 seasons against Michigan, or win another national title?
Oh. I probably can an answer be both?
No, I just asked you 5 wins against Michigan for the next 6 seasons, or another national title in the next 6 seasons. It's easy.
Yeah, probably Michigan, but I do want a national championship again. I want both. I want both.
Brian, he can't do both, Dill, as you can see.
Yeah, clearly. But yeah, shout out Ryan Day. All right, before we get to our interview with CT Bets, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys, or an elderberry watching Super Bowl 59 with your friends, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. And now, here is our interview with CT Bets. All right, great interview with CT. It's always good to have him on. Every Super Bowl we get him on. Gives out his favorite props. He was saying he's not a big prop guy, but he gave out 4 or 5 really good props. I love the Juju one that he gave out. 17-1 ticket. I was gonna ask him if he was gonna hedge it, but he's sitting back and he is on The fly, Eagles fly. That is absolutely insane.
He did hedge it, Dill. He did hedge it. He took the Chiefs week what? I think 6 he said at
Yeah, he
plus
got it like a
five.
nice price.
Yeah, plus 550 or 450. So shout out CT. The guy's a legend.
Absolute
Thank you
legend.
once again for coming on.
Kids, Super Bowl 59. Like I said, it is a rematch of 2 years ago. The Eagles winded up losing that infamous quote unquote pass interference call 38-35 in Glendale, Arizona. We're going to another dome. It's the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. And right now, the game, like I said, money in the public, I feel like is going to come in towards Saturday night. When do CT said it perfect? When do all the sharp and when does all the money start to move? Saturday night and Sunday morning. That is when you start to see the money really start to move. Right now, Kansas City is still the favorite, but I do think it could flip, but it's only going to flip for a cup of coffee. As soon as Patrick Mahomes is an underdog, people are going to pounce on it. I would wait because I do think we're going to see some Eagles money come in. And as soon as the Chiefs are an underdog, I'm going to don't want to say my play, but I might bet a lot of money on the Chiefs as an underdog. But right now, -1.5 plus -120. They are the short favorite. The Chiefs +1.5 plus 102. CT got he didn't get the best number, but he got a better number as of right now. He got a +106 on the money line for the Eagles. Kid, I'll let you lead it off. It's the last one. It's the big one. What do you got?
Dill, first of all, this was a tough game to come down on just because one, even in the AFC Championship game, Dill, what I said, it's hard to bet against the Chiefs, man. Number 15, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, they on a special run. I can't deny it. Can't deny how special they've been playing these last, 2 to 3 years. But Philadelphia got something going. With the addition of Saquon Barkley, we saw Jalen Hurts doing it with his legs and his arms. The fact that the Eagles been so good without a consistent passing game, that's what we got to give credit to. We got to give credit to Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, that the fact that their passing game hasn't been hitting consistently. It's just been Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts with his legs, and defense still. With that being said, give me the Philadelphia Eagles +102 on the money line. I know people, the loyal listeners, are not surprised. This will be 3 years straight. I fade Kansas City. But this year, I think I'll be right, people. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles +102 on the money line.
All the numbers are saying, Eagles are the better team across the board. But we talked about it with CT. The two biggest factors and the two biggest advantages on the field the Kansas City Chiefs have: coaching and quarterback. I just can't do it. I can't get myself. It's like committing sin. Like I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes because it has never worked out for me. I'm 1-1 in the last two. I took him against the Eagles and then I faded him. I thought we were on the right side last year with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Like CT said, I think we got a little, the Chiefs backers got a little lucky. Maybe, what have we been seeing this year? Luck. You need a lot of luck here for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's going to be a very defensive game, too. I know a lot of people like the over, and I know the public. Who the hell wants to bet the under in the Super Bowl? No one. They're going to bet points. I think early on, I think Spagnuolo, I think Vic Fangio, they're going to be dicing it up and setting schemes up where I don't think early on we're going to see a ton of points. Maybe in the second half, the gates start to open and we start to see points. But I don't know, man. I really think we're going to see a defensive battle here, especially early on. But I'm gonna give it to the Chiefs, man. I'm gonna take them here. I'm gonna wait and sit back. I got them on the money line at -119 right now, so I'm gonna wait and see if the line moves. But I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs, man. I just think when it comes down to it, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they just find ways to win. I think they have the better kicker, and if it comes down to a field goal, Who do you trust, Harrison Butker or Jake Elliott? I think I trust Butker. I don't even think Sirianni does. I think even CT said, I think they're going to be very aggressive. I think they're going to be very aggressive and not go for 3 points where, you infamously say, I'll take the 3 points,
I'll
where
take it.
they're just going to go for it. And rightfully so. It's the Super Bowl. You let it all out and you try everything. But I don't know. Jake Elliott has been very shaky this year. I just don't trust him. If it comes down to a field goal game or the game on the line, I trust Harrison Butker more than I do Jake Elliott right now. So give me the Chiefs. I think they three-peat. I don't get the narrative of a lot of people hating on the Chiefs. I think a lot of people, it's the same thing with Tom Brady. They're winners. And I think people hate to see winners thrive. But we're witnessing history. We're witnessing greatness. Like, as much as I can't stand the Patriots, you got to respect them. They're one of the best teams ever to ever do it. They're one of the greatest dynasties. And now so is the Kansas City Chiefs. We're seeing another one. We should be thankful that we're seeing this type of football in our lifetime. No, I'm serious. I'm doing a little glazing here. But like, I'm appreciating good football. And I just think Patrick Mahomes is just gonna pull it out of the rabbit hat again, and he's just gonna find ways to win. What was the narrative last year? His ankle, he can't elude. Fourth quarter, he was out there moving. People were like, "Wait,
What's the narrative this year, though? None. There's no narrative
exactly,
either
none."
side. Either side. Maybe Philadelphia with maybe AJ Brown not getting uh let's just say the amount of targets he once did, but
Mm-hmm.
you got Saquon Barkley, who had one of the greatest running back seasons in NFL history.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I think AJ Brown and the Eagles offense will be just fine. Emotionally, I think they're ready to go.
I think one thing also that came across my timeline today, Eagles coordinator, because it is media week in New Orleans. Vic Fangio, he told a reporter Jalen Carter has an illness and that he's going through and that is going around the team, but he hopes Jalen will be good for the Super Bowl. He's been limited in practice the past few days, and he has not been towards any media things. Does that worry you, or do you think he'll be good?
I think he'll be good just because it's Sunday. And,
Yeah.
for example, if the game was tomorrow,
Ooh,
I'd be a little
a
worried.
little worried.
But whatever he has, I'm 95% sure the Eagles medical staff is gonna make sure he's out of his system come Sunday night.
Do you think it was gumbo?
It was definitely whatever he ate when he first
Yeah.
landed. Seth, or you never know, probably got a cold. You coming from
Yeah.
Philadelphia, you just played a snow game. New Orleans, I know it ain't. I'm not sure what the weather is, but I know it ain't as cold as it is in Philly and Jersey out here. So maybe it was he caught a cold or a flu, from the weather
Oh
change.
no, it's beautiful. It's 77 degrees down in New Orleans.
Bussin', yeah, I'll,
Yeah.
I'll get sick too.
Yeah, you would. All right. Like I said, total is sitting at 48 and a half. CT mentioned it got up to 50 for really a minute. Then it got bet down back to 48 and a half. I know it's an unpopular take, but I kind of would lean under. I'm not a total
Wow.
guy, but I really would lean under. I think, or maybe first half under, because I think early on, these two defensive coordinators are really going to be locked in and trying to stop the other team. So no official play, but I do lean under. Do you have any opinion on the total?
I don't have an official play deal, but I love the over. If I might bet the over come game time. No bullshit deal. We saw just 2 years ago when this matchup occurred, the second highest scoring Super Bowl in NFL history. Deal. It was 70 plus points combined from
Yeah.
this two. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to at least 55. If it's like a 35 28 game. Wouldn't be surprised 34, 20 something. Not won't be surprised at all. This game goes over 50, maybe even 60 points still. Both these offenses are very capable. Don't get me wrong, both defenses are great. Eagles, you can make the case the Eagles the best defense in football. We already know what Steve Spagnuolo could dice up, but Dill, we're not gonna sit here and act like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey ain't the best duo in all of football, and Saquon ain't just have 2,000 yards. And we saw him every playoff games thus far bust out a 60-yard plus touchdown.
So you have the Eagles. Would you give the MVP to Saquon at -190, or would you rather give
No,
it to the
he's at
quarterback at Jalen Hurts?
Saquon is at plus 250. He's minus 190 anytime touchdown.
Oh, anytime touchdown I was looking at. My fault. Yeah, MVP Saquon plus 250 or Jalen Hurts at plus 370.
Realistically, it's a core majority of the time he goes to the quarterback. I know we saw, Julian Edelman a couple years ago versus the Rams win it. We saw Von Miller about a decade ago wreak havoc and win his MVP. To me, it's gonna be tough for a quarterback not to get it, but if it's gonna be a player to win the MVP, it's gonna be Saquon Barkley at plus 250 deal, and I like it just because what we've seen every playoff game thus far, Saquon hitting a 40, 50, 60 plus yard touchdown run. We know he's able to do it, and Dill is he's gonna make other key impactful plays. How many times did we see Saquon pick up a key blitzer or pick up a blocking down the field? So I think Saquon could have multiple reasons why he could win the MVP.
All right, okay, let's go to the props. I have three that I really like. I know CT, he was laying a little juice on Saquon anytime touchdown, just how it's mispriced, which I agree. I think it should be a 2-1 bet. But I like Saquon. We've seen him just do it in one rush. Longest rush over 24 and a half longest rush for him. Kansas City, they've struggled guarding tight ends, and with the amount of attention A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith is going to attract, I think his security blanket, one of his really good friends, Dallas Goedert, one of the most prop bets. I know this is a very public play, but Dallas Goedert over 51.5 receiving yards. I love that play. I like Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, -110. I think down at the goal line, he kind of takes some of the carries away from Saquon, and he gets with those tush push, and they do it the best out of anyone. So anytime touchdown there. And like I said, that fourth quarter prop for the quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts over 6.5 rushing yards at -110, and Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rushing yards in the fourth quarter at -110. The only worry I have, which CT was just like, hey, though, I don't expect them to be kneeling, so I think we're good there. Jalen Hurts, he has design runs with those RPOs. And we've seen Patrick Mahomes run down the tight sideline when the pressure's coming. We know pressure is going to get to him. Their front seven is crazy. So he will elude some of the plays. I think it's too good to be true. Those are what I like. And then another play I like, I love his longest field goal to be made by the Kansas City Chiefs at -120. I think that's a really good play CT made. And tails. Tails never fails. That's another one that I always have to do. Okay, what are your prop bets and any fun bets that you have as well?
Yeah, I gotta give you a couple fun bets. So I'm gonna start with my most juice one. My most juice one. So I gotta play -142. I love this play a lot. Largest lead of the game. Under 14 and a half, -142. I don't see either side being up more than 10 points. I'd be surprised if any point in this game there's a 10-point lead, realistically. And if it is a 10-point lead, I don't expect it to be for long. So at 14 and a half at -142. Under that, I love that play. So give me under 14 and a half for the largest lead of the game. Um, Next, give me Jalen Hurts anytime touchdowns. I call any -115. Dylan called -110. I wish I would have caught the +105 when the line just came out. I should have smashed it then. I love Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. If people recall, last time these two teams matched up in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts had a Super Bowl record 3 rushing touchdowns. So I think he goes into the end zone. Will there be a 2-point conversion? Yes, give me the yes at -104, Dill. I think there will be a 2-point conversion in this game. I love it at -104. Um, Distance of the longest field goal over 40, 6.5 plus 108. I'm with you. I'm with CT. I think Butler could make 50 plus, 55 plus indoor. Wouldn't be surprised Andy Reid go out there, kicks a 58, 57, maybe even a 60-yard field goal. We've seen Butler make those field goals a bunch of times in a cold, windy environment in Kansas City. Wouldn't be surprised he hits a bomb or two indoors in New Orleans. Um, what will happen first? A sack or a touchdown? Give me a sack, a plus 152, Dill. We know the both defensive lines are loaded with talent. We got the former Georgia champions on the Eagles side, and then we got Chris Jones, who's just special, and then Steve Spagnuolo dicing it up. I think we'll see a couple sacks in this game. Definitely a sack before a touchdown. Give me the sack before a touchdown at plus 152. Dale, give me the Philadelphia Eagles first half winner at minus 110. I think the Eagles win the first half. I'm not sure about the full game. I do like them in the full game, but I love them in the first half a little more. And then I got two player props to end it off, Dale. Give me Travis Kelsey over 61.5 receiving yards. Don't get me wrong. We saw Travis Kelsey, I think, have one of his worst playoff career games in the AFC Championship game. Prior to that, he had 13 straight games going over his receiving prop. I think he goes back on that trend. Give me over 61.5 receiving yards for Travis Kelsey. And then, Till, I know you might shake your head at this, but I like Juju Smith over 16.5 receiving yards.
No, I
We
do like it. I
we
like
saw
that.
CT. He liked the over 1.5 receptions. I think I think Juju could go for 25, 30. I wouldn't even surprised he goes for 3 catches and 40 plus yards. So give me Juju over 16.5 receiving yards.
Kid, I love it. You were out here telling me you don't have a lot of picks. You got more than me. I love it. Good luck. It's a bittersweet end, but I just hope we cash our tickets, and I hope we see a really good game. I don't want to see a blowout. I want to see a really good game, and then then it's the offseason. Here comes it's the start of the NBA season, kid. But all right, good luck, kid. Thanks again for CT for coming on. Let's go over to the association. 7 games here on a Friday. AD is expected to make his debut with the Mavs on Saturday, and Luke, I think, is on target to play on Saturday as well. But what do you like here for Friday?
On Friday slate, though, it's tough just because not a lot of lines are out for Friday, but I'm gonna give you some feels, man. Utah against Phoenix tomorrow. If it's anything above 5.5, I'm gonna probably take Utah. I'll probably take Utah plus the points. Um, Probably take Detroit over Philadelphia at home, depending what the line is. Definitely love Cleveland over
Only one game I see lines for. It's Miami and Brooklyn.
What's the line?
Miami minus 6.5, totals at 211.
Oof, that's tough. That's tough. I see Brooklyn plus 6.5. Though.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong.
D'Lo.
I do hope we lose. Cooper Flag is in the air.
He's been bugging.
Number one pick is live. The honestly, the Wizards is trash, but the number one pick. We don't need to have the worst record to land the first overall pick. That's one thing I love about the NBA. Don't need the worst record to get the number one pick. And just to end it off, people are gonna give you a few plays for tonight. Kyrie taking on the Boston Celtics. I like Kyrie over 24.5 points tonight in Boston. We know he's going to get booed. He might get riled up and give him a show. Give me over 24.5 points at minus 125. I got a two-way teaser at minus 134. Tease down the Denver Nuggets to minus 1.5 against the Magic. I'm going to be honest, they've been playing terrible. I don't know what's going on with Orlando. And then, surprisingly, red hot. Give me the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Golden State Warriors. Interesting to see the Warriors without Andrew Wiggins and company. So I'm gonna roll with the Lakers. Give me the Lakers to minus 1.5. Not gonna lay the 7.5 point either, but I do like them in a two-way teaser. And then I'm gonna end it off. Give me the Indiana Pacers taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers laying 4.5, 5. Shop around, people. I ended up getting 5.5 earlier. I love that number. If you could still get 5, 4.5, I'll take it too. I think the Pacers are even live dogs tonight as well.
A name. Speaking of the Pacers, I'm surprised they didn't wind up moving Miles Turner. And we have breaking news from Shams. Ben Simmons and the Brooklyn Nets are working on a potential buyout, making him a free agent.
Where he's about to go, Shing Shang Pangs?
I don't know. I really don't know. Interesting. I thought he was going to be on the move as well. But we will see, kid. Any last words? It was a loaded show for you guys. Gave you a ton of picks. Thanks again for CT for coming on. Any last words, kid?
Nah, Dill. Let's just hopefully we win some money this weekend, Dill. That's all. Let's have a great weekend.
Let's do it. Have a great weekend, everyone. Good luck on the big game. And we'll see you Monday. Peace.